First off, let me say that I'm relatively new to the Fallout franchise, and the Fallout series has went under my radar since its conception in 1997. I didn't get the isometric top-down ones, or even the new ones, since Bethesda's acquisition in 2007. That being said, it didn't stop me from consuming content that people made for the longest time. I enjoyed watching and listening to others on this platform and other platforms enjoy these games. I enjoyed the role-playing aspect of it, and I enjoyed the atmosphere. It wasn't till 2021 when I officially played my first Fallout game. But this isn't about my first Fallout game. This is about Fallout 4. So let's get into my thoughts about the game after playing Fallout 3 and Fallout New Vegas. First off, let me say there are a lot of great aspects to this game. The gunplay was fantastic, very modern, very well put together and thought out. I love the different weapon types and the different mods you can use to each weapon. And for me, I loved being able to name my weapons. That's something that really tickled my fancy. I wish the pipe pistol was utilized more at the start of the game because they give you a 10mm pistol right in the vault at the start of the game. The new VAT system in the game took a little bit to get used to because I played Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3, which their VAT systems allowed you to freeze time and basically think about your next move, which honestly helped me. But over time, I got used to the new VAT system and how it worked. I'd grown to love each aspect of it and how time stall moved because it's assisted, not time freezing, which makes more sense lore-wise. It helps you stay on your toes. On to the world space. You can see what they wanted to do with the technology that they had at the time, but how they were limited because of the systems this was released on. But that doesn't deter from the awesome aspects of this game and how they put so much love and care into this. Like with any typical open world game, you do have reused assets and stuff like that, but that's a discussion for another day for all open world games. I liked the atmosphere about this part of the game. The world space was fantastic to me. It seemed so great. I also love the variety of armors and the different types in the game. And for me, that honestly really helps with role-playing. So like, let's say I'm playing a raider and I want to get raider armor, and there's different aspects of raider armor. You have your basic armor, your upgraded armor, and then they even added in raider power armor, which I know a lot of people didn't like, but it makes sense. You're gonna find these power suits out in the wild, so being able to modify things and stuff like that really makes sense, and I think was a beautiful addition to the series. Onto the parts of the story I did like. I loved certain aspects of the story and how you could interact with different factions and help them out. And I loved the quests and stuff that you did that really honestly made the world seem more alive. And that's it for the stuff I liked about this game. Let's move on to the stuff I didn't like about this game. The complaints that I'm going to have from several other people who have talked about this game and stuff like that and different aspects of it all over the internet. First off, some of the story. It sort of felt like a rehash of Fallout 3. Fallout 3 was, hey, find your dad. Fallout 4 was, hey, find your son. But in the long run, what ended up happening is just felt like what you did with the main story didn't matter. You could pluck your character out of that story and just not have that person at all who doesn't know Sean, and everything still would have came to a head in the game. Whichever ending you chose would have still happening. Whether it was the Railroad doing what they did, the Brotherhood of Steel doing what they did, or the Minutemen would eventually come back and do what they did. Your character is moot in this game, and that really bugged me. And out of all the stories in Fallout 3, New Vegas, and 4 honestly is the weakest. Now, onward to the protagonists, Nate or Nora. Nothing against the voice actors in this game. I think they did a great job But for me personally, I do not like voice protagonists because I want to create a character and I want to be able to live through that character, and that voice can play in my head or I can say the lines out loud, however I want to do. However, the voice actors did a great job with the lines. And on to the difficulty settings, because Bethesda's known for difficulty settings. I played my first whole playthrough on hard, and I know some people might cringe because they love playing on survival and that aspect of the game, but my point here is, one, this game came out 5 years ago, and I know there are experts at this game now who can play through the game like barehanded and stuff like that. I'm just a guy giving my honest opinion. But in typical Bethesda fashion, they don't make things harder. They make things a sponge, and that's what it felt like. Shooting people felt like it was a sponge aspect, just like in Skyrim, just like in Oblivion, just like in all of their games. Harder doesn't mean that you do less damage. That's not how the aspect should work. The AI didn't seem any smarter. The AI didn't seem to take more headshots at me. It just seemed like the AI took more bullets to kill. That's it, the end. And then there's the big elephant in the room, which I know a lot of people have a problem with. And that is the building and the settlements. I have no issue with the building. It is kind of clunky and cumbersome, but the aspect for me is that you're helping the settlements and you're assigning people to do tasks. And the thing is they don't gather any materials. They don't help you actually build things, and they don't help with the upkeep, and a lot of times they won't even help defend the settlements. So you have to go around and scavenge all this stuff, all these parts, all this wood and stuff in order to make these places. I just don't get that. You have to put the crops down, you have to assign the people, all that stuff. And the crazy part that I didn't like is you could be in the middle of clearing out super mutants for some random mission, and you get a pop-up saying, oh hey, this settlement's under attack, they could use your help. It's like, I built your buildings, I got you food, I got you water. The least you can do is learn how to defend your own home. I mean, come on, it's been 200 years since the bomb fell. Are you telling me that with a place to sleep now, food on the table, turrets set up, that you guys still need help to defend your stuff? And you won't even go gather things to help build new stuff? It's a great game, and you could take those aspects I talked about, like the settlements, the voice protagonist issue with the AI and the difficulty, to scale properly, and you can fix those with mods, which is a big part of Bethesda games. I give Fallout 4 a solid 8 out of 10, especially with the replay value and the different ways you can go about the story. I personally did a melee build for my first playthrough because it's something I did in Fallout 3, and I wanted to see how it worked in Fallout 4, and it worked out pretty good. There were times where I needed to shoot things, which was a little more difficult, but overall, I enjoyed my time in the Boston area wasteland. I enjoyed every aspect of it, and if you can get this game, if you haven't played it, do it.